Commander Cockings and Captain Foley here, yet again, from the Trekyards mission briefing. As we all know by now, is the more relaxed discussion show, talking about a ship of the Star Trek universe, discuss it, theorise, and get your feedback on what you think about the design. And we're doing something a bit more different, and bonus. Last month you had the fan design version, now we're doing the STO month. What is that? Star Trek Online. Some very cool ships that they developed over the last quite a lot of years. So what are we looking at today, Stuart?
Looking at a ship called the Avenger Class, which is a very familiar looking ship to me, as I think it just looks like a refit of the Sovereign, but we'll talk about that in a few minutes.
Less to me, but that's part of what we're here to do. So, first picture. Now, I've got to first ask, have you ever flown this ship on Star Trek Online?
No, I have not.
Neither have I. And obviously we're here just to theorise and you know, used to Star Trek Online players out there, you know, shout out what this ship is capable of, because we are not fully aware, but I'm assuming, is this a science ship or a tactical ship? Because I don't, because calling the Avenger isn't necessarily the right, because that's just someone who named it. What does it shout out to you as?
Well, it's got short phaser strips, but at the same time, look at those red cannons with torpedo tubes in the leading edge. Wow. It looks armored. I would say it's probably a battleship of some kind.
It's probably, like you say, it's probably on the same line of escorts as the Sovereign. I think that's probably fair to say.
Yeah.
Based on its size. Okay, so yeah, so what does your eye strike? So this first picture, though, what do you?
Ironically enough, the first thing I noticed is the catamarans, much like the Titan and the Akira, kind of flanking the bridge module.
But sleeker, very much more.
Yes.
It's an odd ship. I mean, all Star Trek Online has that sort of Star Trek, but pushed in odd directions. Go where no ship has gone before. Yeah. And so it's an aesthetic where you either like the ship or you don't. I think Star Trek Online is very hit or miss for your own personal design aesthetic. I mean, ships don't tend to have this black. Obviously, you can change the hull coloring, but this version, the black, is very distinct. Like, that's kind of unusual, a bit more Section 31-y. Although I've got to say, the Basards are interesting. What do you think about them?
I like that. I like that look a lot. They're very bulked out, and they look, like I said, kind of armored. Like maybe it's designed for battle there. So, it's almost as if we evolved along the refit line of evolution, keeping that much more rectangular, but keeping that sort of style. Yeah,
I kind of like it.
That,
It's a bit more Mass Effect-y meets Halo with how the rectangles are, but I like it.
Also, the registry numbers on the side is very cool.
Yeah, it
cool
works.
Idea.
Yeah, I think it works. And you're right, a lot of cannons at the front of their torpedo launchers. That's a pretty meaty array.
Yeah, absolutely. I like the center bridge module thing.
Yeah, I like it too.
Not all the bridge, obviously, but I like the design and the fact that at the back there you can see there's windows that kind of face each other, like in a courtyard.
Yeah.
So I like it.
Yeah, I think the bridge module feels like it's a bridge, like it's its own separate part of the whole primary, secondary, and bridge area, because it's obviously more than that. Like, all the operations exists in this whole section, which is different to the source and different to the, rather than just a bridge module. Obviously, you can fit a lot more rooms in there, a lot more strategic operations.
I'm not sure the size of this ship, but judging by the windows, I would say it's fairly big.
Yes, an escape
probably a little bit bigger than the Sovereign.
Yes, I would agree. But let's move on to the next picture, which shows the back. That's a lot of activity on the back. Wow. Very Sovereign-esque impulse engines.
I actually have a Sovereign class in the game that has those kind of fins on the back of the nacelles. That's kind of one of the reasons I think it looks Sovereign. It's got the primary hull, the secondary hull, same kind of engine design. It's just like almost like a refit of the Sovereign as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I see it close enough, but it's just the standard Federation aesthetic, almost. I do like the shuttle bay doors in the neck, although that scale seems to be a little bit off, and it's a huge bay door, which it could be, well, it needs to be. But
yeah, if it was that, yeah. If it, compared to the windows, that looks like at least a 5-6 deck. No,
yeah, 4 deck maybe.
4 or 5 at least deck high door.
Or just one big, open space, what it probably is. But that definitely, I mean, look at where that is. That is being shielded. I mean, Titan is one thing. This is an evolution of the Titan. That is, you're not going to get into that. Like, shields are going to be very strong there and everything.
there'd be some cool viewing if you're sitting by those windows. You get to see shuttles coming in and landing. That'd be awesome.
That would be cool. Just have your morning tea. It's like, oh, the observation team came back.
You're in England. You have tea. We're in Canada and America. We got coffee. It looks like an impulse crystal there in the center, but it's not where the impulse crystal should be because the impulse engines are up on the primary hull. And also, are those warp cores? Those little ones?
I can't imagine. Maybe some
JJ sort of shit. Maybe you need 15 warp cores.
Yeah. No, maybe some sort of sensor array, or I don't know, or holographic projectors, because we know that in later game you can have the ability to do 3 projections around you as a holo fleet, so it might just be a part of that. Mm-hmm. What do you think about the wing or pylon glowing red? Do they scream impulse engine to you, integrate into the pylons?
Yeah, I didn't actually notice it, so you said that, but yeah, I mean, they even kind of have a impulse engine aesthetic look to them as far as those little vents or grills that kind of support them.
See, to me, that looks like they pop out, like they're retractable. So in emergency speed, they just pop out. Boom, you've got double impulse speed, which is actually kind of interesting. Like it's not there for primary use, but you have them there. I think that's kind of a.
Or if the primary hull can separate.
Although that would be more difficult given the way it's all attached. But that's interesting. Yeah, I agree with that. That's cool.
It might just slide out and have like kind of like a fork shape at the front. That'd be actually kind of interesting to see.
It would be. I do like this though. The back, a lot of nice detail. I mean, it all fits, I think. Yeah.
I like the long phaser strip along the back. Usually there'd be a shuttle bay there, so it's a nice change.
And there's 2 phaser strips on each side of the nacelles as well, which is nice to see. And there's 1 on the back of the bridge module and 2 on either side near the black bits of the saucer. It is reasonably well armed. And we know torpedo areas are sort of more hidden on these ships, or the big red things, so can't tell where they are, but Alright,
so let's go to the next picture.
Wow, this is different vibe.
Yeah, different vibe. The black's kind of more armored repair. Like this looks more like an artist rendition, but it's not. It looks like it is in game still. But there's something very different feel-wise about it. I think it's just the detailing on the hull.
Yeah, if you look at the nacelles, I mean, it's no longer sleek. It's very distinctly patterned, kind of Aztec-y, not Mayan-y, like Mayan building, like that sort of stonework. I kind of like it. It looks more like a very much more like titanium feel, like a one-off titanium, like a very hard metal that's been welded together.
This is quickly becoming a favorite ship of mine.
Yeah,
I gathered all these pictures. We kind of decided on the classes, and I gathered these pictures not really knowing much about these ships.
Yeah.
And so this is kind of our first foray into looking at them. And I got to say, this is one that I wouldn't mind acquiring.
And it's weird because on first look, everything looks kind of out of proportion, but when you appreciate the details, it's got some nice details, yeah. This is what we do at Mission Briefing, though. We take a real hard look and we actually try and analyse. And yeah, you really do appreciate these ships more very quickly. Not many people have as much scrutiny in very comprehensive focus bubbles.
And it is kind of nice that we don't have specific knowledge of these ships, because then we have a kind of a blank slate to look at them. We do have our mass Star Trek knowledge, which we apply to it, but to not know something specific about the ship is interesting, because I always love learning in the comments below what the ship's capable of. So, yeah, I'm quickly becoming a fan of this ship, I gotta say.
And if you look at the front portion of the saucer, the black part, I think that's now a specific hull plating, like armor, like a blade of armor, because you've got how there's a lack of armor in the middle where the escape pods come out. So it's kind of as if it's a reinforcement to the structural integrity of the hull, because if you look at how that's placed, that would keep the saucer together pretty well, I would think.
Makes me wonder though, is there more escape pods on the bottom? Because looking at this, looks like there's 8 escape pods on the whole ship.
Probably. I think we'll be able to find out with the later pictures, hopefully. But yeah. Anyway, we're on to the next picture, which is the top, and that doesn't look as interesting to me. I'm gonna be honest.
I agree. The nacelles aren't long enough. I think lengthening the nacelles and maybe bulking them out a bit.
Or even making them back slanted rather than forward slanted would probably help that look neater.
Yeah.
Although,
Oh.
if you look at the saucer, that isn't a Stargate Al-Kesh. I mean, it's the exact shape of a Stargate Al-Kesh, even not the details. So go look at a Stargate Al-Kesh, compare them side by side, or I'll do it cleverly in this picture right now.
I don't
Bear in mind,
really watch Stargate, so
Stargate
I'll have to go
Al-Kesh.
check it out.
Just doing paint scheme, but yeah, I think this ship really works with its dimensionality, with the spine, with it flowing into secondary hull. 2D, it just looks like some shapes put together. It's still quite sleek, but I don't like that saucer. It's like the Prometheus saucer, but made it all smooth. That's sort
It's
of
like
elongated.
an Easter egg.
Yeah, well,
It's got an egg shape to it. All right, so let's go into the next photo, and that's from the side, and that's really butt ugly.
Oh, that's not.
Yeah, the
nice.
side really kind of lost me.
It's
I mean,
a
it's
fat
bulked
beast,
out.
isn't
It's
it?
probably a very tough little ship,
Well, it's not little, is
a
it?
big ship.
That's not nice.
Again, longer nacelles would definitely help that appearance quite a bit.
I mean, again, you don't consider how that spine really affects the shape, but it absolutely changes the shape. I think this also implies that there's a lot of internal space, compared to some other ships.
Yeah.
And is that the same a blade of armor, whatever, that goes from the deflector up into the side of the pylons?
Certainly looks like it.
That's interesting. Good idea for it, but it really just. Sorry, ship. Sorry, Avenger.
Yeah. Longer engines, I think, would help that so much more. All right, so the next picture is ship from the front, which the saucer with those catamarans is very reminiscent of the Titan from the front.
Well, again, it looks like another ship from Stargate. It looks like one of the fighters or one of the shuttles from the Great Race. What do you think about that deflector dish? Because I want to hear what you think.
It's kind of rudimentary. Just the rectangle, I'm not a fan. I mean, I would like to see a close-up of it, but this is what we have, so.
It doesn't look good. It's kind of a D dish with the Voyager external ring, but they just don't work. The shapes are different. You need to keep. It's like what Andrew Probert says: keep the aesthetic very similar throughout the ship. You know, if it's sleek and organic, keep it sleek and organic. This is using different curves for a lot of different things.
And this solves a lot of people's problems that they have with a lot of Starfleet designs. Look at the thickness of those struts. A lot of people complain the struts are always too skinny, too spindly. This really has beefed out struts
and a beefed out neck.
Oh,
very
absolutely.
beefed out.
Well, that's where again it draws the similarities with the Sovereign. It's kind of all one hull. It's just kind of stretched.
And the next picture is a top view. Again, very much the Al-Kesh.
Makes it look so much nicer though, these angles.
Yeah. And I don't know if I quite like the stark white and black colour scheme. I think maybe if the black had been a darker grey and the white had been more Aztec-y, I think you could maybe make it fit better. But obviously they're trying to build their own aesthetic, which I get. But if you want to try and fit it into, if you want to pull it back 5-10 years.
Yeah. And again, even from this view, like the view from the back, the 3/4 view from the back and the top was really nice. I really like that. But again, looking at this view, again, I say longer warp nacelles would really help this design kind of be proportionate. And I'm kind of rethinking my idea of getting this ship. Unless you can change the parts, right?
You can.
So maybe there are better warp nacelles that you can choose for it.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, and change the hull colours and change.
Yeah. Anyway, let's go on to the next picture, which is
Always nice.
Cutaway. Tracker beam emitter. Aft torpedo tube on the bottom there.
Okay, well the shuttle bay is smaller than we thought. It's only got enough room for a single Type 11 and work bees, although nice to see a separate work bee component.
Well, there are 2 shuttles in there.
Yeah, but they're obviously it hasn't got the door length. Like we were saying, it's 4 or 5 decks. I mean, that's only well, I guess it's 4 decks maybe, but I don't know. That feels smaller than I was thinking it was going to be.
Yeah, this doesn't really give you a sense of scale for deck wise. because I don't think each of those is a deck. Actually, it is. If you look at the little person there, so that means this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 decks in the saucer at the most.
It's not a big ship then.
Those windows are deceiving then. That just doesn't
well,
make
or this
sense.
is I mean, obviously this is probably a fan one, so we don't know.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
There's an auxiliary deflector behind the bridge, but I don't understand. Does it pop out? I don't.
Oh, that's a good point. It would have to, because it.
Although now you look at this perspective, because you look at the neck bit, the spine, that's not obviously solid space. There's some space, but it's actually a lot thinner. So when you just look at the secondary hull, it's actually a lot smaller than you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the deflector takes up a lot of space. The warp engine takes a lot. Warp core takes a lot of space. So it's actually less big. And oh, is that if you look at I think you can see escape pods at the bottom of the ship. You can see them inside the hull. Those 7 lined up, and then 2 at the bottom of the sensor dome.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Which is sensor dome / main computer core. That's an interesting place to put them though.
Yeah, and judging by we've looked at a lot of these cutaways. Judging by the size of that main computer core, this is a small ship.
More Nova class sized.
Yeah, I'm thinking so. Which I don't. In that case, I don't have such a problem with the stockiness of it, especially from the side view, because the smaller ships kind of suits them. But
well, the next picture is a variant because the warp pylons are flat, and I kind of like it more. I think
I do too, very much so.
Yeah, it fixes the dimensionality a bit, and it actually gives it more 3D-ness. Maybe I don't know. Just
yeah, once again, longer nacelles, guys, would look better. But anyway, this is more like the original design for Voyager almost. Yeah, interesting.
Well, the saucer, if you look at the back and the windows, that looks a lot bigger than it's very thick, and it's not an elegant saucer, is it? Even though it's sleek, it's very. It's as if they had some dough and just cut it round, and it's like, right, here it is, a nice thick saucer, you know?
It's kind of chunky, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and judging by the size of the escape pods, I don't think this is a very big ship. That maybe I'm just seeing it wrong. I would love to know the sizes. Please tell us in the comments. And the next picture is the first picture, so we're back.
Cool.
So that was the USS Avenger. I would love to find out what these things at the front are as well. Are those torpedo tubes?
I think they're meant to be, yeah.
Are there some kind of laser cannon? Phaser cannon? I don't know. I'd love to hear what you guys think about the ship or what you know about the ship. If it is your ship in Star Trek Online, let us know.
Which it's going to be for some people, so let us know. I mean, why did you pick this ship? Because there's a lot of ships out there. How powerful is it against a lot of other ships at the time? Obviously, you know, send us a screenshot on Trekyards. Yeah, if you see this episode, go on Trekyards Facebook group and post a picture of your ship, how big it is compared to a Sovereign would be great. Yeah,
or go to the Team Trekyards Star Trek Online headquarters site. If you're not a member of Team Trekyards on Star Trek Online, we need people. Trekyards wants you for this Trekyards fleet. So check it out and post your pictures there or on the main Trekyards page. We would love to see your ships.
But yeah, interesting ship. The STO aesthetic is different, to say the least. Any last thought on the Avenger class?
There would be a few design changes that I would personally make to make it more a ship that I would want. So, but other than that, it is a cool, unique little ship. Or a big ship. I don't know.
And it's one of those things that a lot of people do say, certain ships looking from certain angles, and if you can get a ship that looks good from every angle, well done. Yeah. So that is it for this week's Trekyards mission briefing. STO, Star Trek Online, taking a look at those unique ships. Let us know what ship you want to see in the comments below. Let us know what ship you have, what ship you hate, maybe. I don't know. Again, hit or miss. Let us know some great Klingon ships. There's some really bizarre designs. And yeah, tune in next week for another Trekyards mission briefing STO version. This is it from me, Commander Cockins.
And me, Captain Foley.
See you next time.
Bye.